Hey, happy Valentine's Day or week or whatever. I'm gonna show you 3 ways to do illusions to make Valentine hearts for your bag. You got a paper bag from Mr. Collier. Thank you, Mr. Collier. And we have been looking at illusions, and I'm gonna show you this right here is not really an illusion. It's probably the easiest one. The illusion is that it makes shapes that are not, they're just abstract shapes, but you make the abstract shapes by placing the heart around and just tracing it a bunch of times in different places. And then these cool shapes start to emerge when you start to just color in the shapes. A couple of tips for this is that when I'm going to color in a shape, I'm going to outline it first to make it look really crisp and cool and neatly done. I'm going to outline it first, just right inside that pencil mark. Just outline it. And then when you're filling it in, it won't be as, I don't know, unneat or messy or whatever, okay? There is how I'm using the wide part of my marker. I'm angling it so the wide portion of the marker colors it in. And then I don't have to worry about going outside of the line if I don't want to go outside of the line because I've already outlined it. So there's a little area that just keeps you from going outside of there. Okay, then just out. I used a metallic Sharpie on the big outline of the heart. Just because I wanted to see it, but you don't have to do that. You just do it your way. I'm also going to show you before we get started about, that's what heart I used. It's on the back of a cereal box. And if you have an empty cereal box, then just use it to make the outlines. I'm going to show you how to cut out a heart. And also, when you're using really light colors on here, you can use your eraser and kind of brush gently back and forth over the lines. You want to erase them just enough where you know where they are, but you can't see them a lot. You just want to use, that way I can use this yellow and I can go where my lines were and outline it and then fill it in with my yellow, and I'm not getting pencil graphite inside my yellow shape, okay? That is what we talked about that before too. Just reminding you of that technique so you can, then if you put darker colors around the yellow, but if you already used the yellow, then your darker colors aren't going to bleed into that yellow space. It's going to be nice and bright yellow. And then I'm going to show you how to cut out a heart before we go any further. I've got a cereal box here, shredded wheat. I have also got a regular piece of printer paper. This one happens to have my ladybug coloring. I think I put that in your kit that your people picked up, that your mom or dad or whoever picked it up for you. So just fold the paper in half, right? And then I'm going to cut, I'll draw the shape with my red marker before I cut it and show you that half of a heart is what you're drawing. You're going to draw half of it like that. And then you cut on the line, and when you unfold it, it is the whole heart. And then you trace it onto the cereal box. You carefully trace it onto the cereal box, okay, around both sides of it. And then that's how I ended up with this heart. I've got a bunch of these in the classroom, and I use them for different things. And you can really make a template out of a cereal box with any shape you want. But I've used hearts since we're talking about Valentine hearts. So also, we did this wavy checkerboard before, and I colored this one and traced the bigger heart in the middle, and then I went around it with a silver Sharpie. Okay, I don't know if you have one of those. Just use a marker though, that's fine. I went over all my pencil lines with a brown marker, and then I colored in with whatever colors I wanted to use. Inside the heart I kept it white every other space, and outside I went with two colors that are much darker than the colors I used on the inside, so that we can really tell that that's a heart hiding in there. It's not really hiding that way. And you've got your white bag, and I did that heart, and we also did this heart, and then the other way, besides just the easiest way, that's not really an illusion, that's just abstract shapes made from using hearts. And we had our checkerboard heart, and then we have our impossible heart. That was a whole video all on its own because that was really complicated. And the one that I was drawing on there is this one, and I colored it. Started to do some stippling shading, but then I decided to leave it like it was. Okay, that impossible heart is on another lesson, so that's where that came from. All right, so I'm gonna show you the third illusion, which is called a draped line heart. I'm calling it the draped lines. You may have seen it before, but it's an easy way to get a pretty cool looking illusion. Okay, I'm gonna use a pen so you can see it, but you should use pencil because you're going to want to erase the heart shape. I'll say that again. You're going to want to erase this heart shape. So use a pencil, and actually use a pencil for the whole thing because you can erase your mistakes. If you make mistakes, you can erase them. I use a pencil, you guys. I use a pencil. In fact, I practiced this with a pencil before I'm making the videos so that I made my mistakes on my practice and I could erase them. And when I am doing an art job for somebody, I start with pencil. I don't start with a pen or whatever. Sometimes I'm painting and I just start painting, but I like to plan my designs with a pencil. All right. I am going to use my ruler. I've got this old ruler here that's pretty cool. It's got a metal line in the edge of it. I don't know if you know what those metal lines are for. What they are for is so that you can use a pen and it doesn't touch the ink. It keeps your ruler from touching the ink so your ruler doesn't get all funky and get ink all over it. That's what they made those lines for on the edge of your ruler. So if you're buying a ruler and you don't like those metal lines, then please don't get the metal lines, okay? But if you want to know why they have metal lines in them, that's why. It's holding your pen up off of your ruler, and it's just letting it work on your paper without going and getting all over the place, all over your ruler and smudging your fingers and all that. I'm making my straight line. I made a mistake right there that I could erase if I was using a pencil. Outside of the heart is where the straight lines are, just outside of the heart. Make a lot of lines. Don't make them too close together. You don't want to be here for 3 hours trying to make your lines, okay? This is about the same width as maybe a tiny bit more than some wide ruled notebook paper. That's what you're going for. You don't want them too close together or too far apart. If they're too far apart, then you won't have much of a shape to the end product. And if they are too close together, it's going to take way too long, and you'll also maybe have a complication inside the heart where your lines are going to be bumping into each other, and it's just going to be a lot harder. Don't make it too hard for yourself, okay? We want to go outside the heart with the straight lines outside of the heart. I make a couple more lines and then I'll show you the illusion. You're gonna like it. It's pretty cool. The kids in the classroom have been doing this week and they like it because it's an easy way to get a really cool looking illusion. That's what we have been working on. Illusions that you can get easily without, and then you can mesmerize and hypnotize your family. Just kidding. You can't hypnotize people with this. I don't think that's possible without lots of training. Okay, anyway, now I want to connect all my lines. All right? I'm going to start in the middle. I'm going to lay down my ruler so I make sure I'm going from here to here is where I'm going to start out. And my line is straight on the outside of the heart, but on the inside of the heart, I want it to arc. I want it to arc inside. So it's going to connect here and here together, but it's going to arc up a bit higher, about up to the next line, or even further if you want. Arc it up like a rainbow, like a curve, all right? And then meet up with the line over here. See that? Then every line is going to do that. Every line is going to arc the same amount-ish as my other line. See that? That's arcing a little farther and it's a little crooked, but that's okay. I'm going to do this one, arc it up. I hope you can see my pen okay. You go over it with all different colors if you want. I'm using this greenish turquoise pen that's kind of cool looking. I might not even do anything else with it. But kids have been doing this in the art room all week, and it's getting some pretty awesome results. You guys are really smart. I love seeing what all of our students create throughout the week. That's one of my favorite parts of being an art teacher, is seeing the artwork the kids make. Okay, this is going okay. I wanted to get up here so I could show you what they do at the top. You've got to connect this and this and this and this instead of just this to this. Does that make sense? Kinda, not really. I'm gonna put that down a little further just because I've got two halves here up here instead of just one. So I wanna make it look like the curve is a little different up here. So I'm not gonna pretend that this isn't here and just arc it like that. And up here I'm gonna make that one, it's gonna arc almost all the way to the top of the heart. Almost, not quite. And then this was a mistakey line, but if it was there for real, I would arc it a little bit. All right, and that is your illusion. If I had used pencil, which I did not, so you could see it, I would go through and erase between the lines, all right? Other options are that you could shade it, make it look darker around the edges and lighter, very light or white in the middle, and make it look darker around the edges, and then just gently pull away, make your cross hatching and pull away from the edge to make it look curved. All right, and I did this for my own bag. I made my own bag because some kids like to give me Valentine's, so I will have a bag they can put them in. So when I get home at the end of a busy day, I can look at all my little love notes and feel very appreciated and happy. Okay. Hatching and cross hatching, we went over that before. We also went over stippling before. You can do any of those methods of shading on here. I used, on my own bag, I used markers of different colors, and it looks like this. I used a rainbow of color, and then I pulled away with my marker tip to make it look curved and to make it look wider on the top, okay? It looks bright on the top, and then as it goes to the edge, it gets quite a bit more dark, okay? And this, around here, I used stippling, And I probably should do a little more work down here. I might do that at some point. I'm gonna show you how to wrap your design around the bag. And I'll show you that now. What I'm gonna do with this, I put paper hearts up here. They look like they're coming out of the top, and I put my name at the top so everybody knows that's my bag where my stuff goes, right? And then at the bottom, it's kind of bare. I could put more hearts down there, or I could just leave it, either way. And then when it unfolds, the bottom of the bag, it's gonna sit up, and you're just gonna see this part, and it wraps around the sides a little bit. The way I did that was I laid my bag, the front of my bag, what I'm calling the front is the opposite side. You can see the bottom of the bag is folded up on the opposite side. And I'm calling the other side the front because this is, I don't want to glue anything to this part because then I wouldn't be able to open it, okay? Just in case you were wondering why. This is the back and that's the front. And I folded that in and just cut it at an angle so I've got that glued down, and I'm going to show you how to do that over here on this side. When you start to open up these flaps, it's folded in on the side, and you open up these flaps and you can fold this part. You just open this up, all right, and fold this down, and that is the whole side of my bag. So then this is the front here, and I'm gonna fold my design around. I'm gonna fold it so that it is showing just on the front, and then I want to cut a little bit of it off so that it'll show just on the front and not on the sides. So that's what I am looking for. And this is right here, I can tell where I need to cut it off because my edge is gonna be folded here, and then the middle line, the middle of my side needs to come off a little bit too. So I can match up my ruler if I want it to be that straight, or I can just cut freehand there, okay? I'm just gonna use this green crayon so you can see where I'm cutting. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut up the side, and that is gonna be it. Then I've got this one little spot that I have to throw some glue down on. Go ahead and come in, you guys.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. I've got a class coming in, so I'm just gonna glue this right quickly. And then we are gonna stick that down. And I've got a wonderful kindergarten class coming into the room, so I'm gonna go teach them.
Aspen, Annie, and Adeline are working on a reading test real quick.
Okay.
With Mrs. Weekly. They'll be here soon. Zoe is absent today.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Mrs. Jones. Now my bag is all done, and I'm gonna go be a teacher. Thank you, bye-bye.